Yankee hats and Timbs! What's going on YouTube? It's your boy 3G. We're back with another video. I'm gonna go ahead and review this Power Rangers movie for you guys, and so that you know whether or not it's worth watching. A lot of people ask me, yo, is it worth watching? Did you watch it? Is it lit? Should I watch it with my kids, my wife, or whatever? Should my boys, my brothers? And I'm gonna let you guys know without spoiling it. I know people don't want to know any spoilers, but something I will say is that it's definitely worth watching. This was a really good film, and there was no doubt that I thought this film was gonna be okay, but I didn't think it was gonna be this good. I actually thought there was gonna be a lot of moments where I'm just like, oh, how cliche is this shit, or I knew this was gonna happen and something like that. And no, there was a lot of surprises in this movie, and I think compared to the original film, I love how well executed this was because it explained it so much better. And especially for the people who are new to Power Rangers, this is something that can allow them to really get into it. People will really start fucking with Power Rangers because of this movie. And for the people who used to watch Power Rangers from years ago, this is definitely a movie you don't want to miss, period. Nostalgia kicks in all the way because you understand the original story, but they kind of change it up a bit, of course, with character development and all this other gist, what I'll just get into in a second. One thing I will say is that they took parts, of course, you know, they got the history with Rita Repulsa, and they did explain everything very well, and we understand why the Power Rangers are here, and then the 5 people that they, you know, decided to grab to become the Power Rangers. We understand all that, especially with the original shows, but we know that from the original shows, they came in as friends, they already knew karate and shit, like they knew how to fight. But in this case, it's totally different, and I love the pacing of the movie. So let me just start off with that. The pacing of the movie is a 2-hour film, and I thought it was gonna be on some crazy, we already knew that they're all gonna be a beast at doing something, or we knew that they're all friends, which is not even the case in this movie. You're gonna be kind of surprised with how they handled this movie. And I think had they went in with this where they were all friends, where they all knew how to fuck people up and how to handle everything, it would have been a bit boring. It would have been like, oh God, my nigga, we knew this was gonna happen. But the way they handled the film, I think was very well executed. I think character development played a huge role in this movie. I was a bit shocked. Me and wifey was watching it when we seen specific people's situations and their characteristics and what they had or whatever. I don't want to spoil it. We looked it up, and after reading more about why they did this in the movie, I was like, and I was shocked. I was just like, yo, I didn't understand why would they do that. And I thought from there, the movie wasn't going to be as good. And apparently that made it much better because it gave you a better understanding on why each character has this specific personality. And at the very end of the movie, there was a huge message. And obviously we know with the Power Rangers, they're here to save the world or whatnot. But the big message behind this movie was friendship, love, care, I'm here for you, bonding, allowing one another to help one another, and also just acceptance. That's the biggest one, accepting one another for who they are. And when you watch this movie, you're gonna say, yeah, I see why, you know, 3MG said that, and you're gonna really enjoy the film for that. I'm glad they decided to really take a risk and give specific people the personality that they gave them and put them in their specific situation. That makes it so much unique because it allowed the movie to broaden itself, and you see why people come together and form the Power Rangers and stuff like that. So I just wanted to get that out the way. The morphing, I think, was just fucking awesome. The only thing I will say is that the fighting in the movie doesn't really come until the end, but I was very much occupied at everything that was happening during the movie because I wanted to understand all the characters. Like it was that much balance that you was understanding each character and who they were throughout the whole movie, and there was still things going on within the movie. There was talking, of course, but it made it much more entertaining to see how this person reacts and how this person interacts with one another. It was a really good film, and when you seen the fighting, I'm telling you right now, it was something really rewarding. It definitely brought you back to the original, but of course the choreography and everything that was done in the movie was much well executed. Like they didn't just do that dramatic jump and shit. Like, no, for people who was curious about that shit did not happen, but it was much more like, you know, up with the times and shit. So when everything happened, you was just like, oh shit, the fighting, oh shit, Megazord, obviously you seen them in the trailer, the Zords and everything, all that shit, when it came, they executed that shit well. Like that shit was dope. So I think you guys are gonna really enjoy that part. One thing you guys probably are gonna want, just like myself, is another movie. You guys will want another Power Rangers movie because the way this movie was handled, you're gonna say, no, we need another one. This one was so good. This was like the starting off. Like normally with reboots or whatnot, it's more or less explaining the whole story all over again and whatnot. No, some shit's really happened in this movie, and now you're like, yo, we need a part 2. because of the way they left off at the end. So that's really the most you're going to get from me. One thing I will say also is that I give this movie an 8 out of 10 because I would have enjoyed more fighting in the movie, because it was so well done. Like, it was really good, the fighting scenes. I would have wanted more fighting in the beginning, but because of the fact, and when you guys watch it, these kids come in, because they're around like 22, 23. When they come in, you're gonna say, okay, that's why they couldn't do what they, do until the very end. And I don't want to spoil all that, but I'm gonna be real, you guys are really gonna fuck with this movie. I hope I was able to explain it enough. But I will say, like, once again, each character is just something special, because you did not expect it to be this way. You didn't expect them to ever incorporate specific situations and characteristics in these characters, because you would probably think it's a joke. You would have assumed that the internet would go crazy right now. Why the fuck you did this with this character? Why the hell you gave this to this character? Why the hell is this in the movie? Like, look, I will put it like this as an example. For those who are watching who don't play video games, if you ever heard of a company called Ubisoft, what they do wrong is that they force transgenders, they force gays and all that in video games, but they don't give them a unique personality. Like, I'm all for that, right? But they don't give that type of personality. They don't give a good background to the character. They just throw them in games just so that, for the sake of saying, listen, we're not discriminating. No, like, that's corny. I could play as any character as long as there's real, true character development. And where I'm getting at is, this movie has a lot of character development, and that's why you probably enjoyed almost all characters in the movie. You probably, because the thing is, we all know the Red Ranger was the leader, he was the shit. But coming from the movie, you enjoyed all characters for who they were, for who they are, and what they represented. So once again, I really suggest you guys go ahead and watch this film however you can, whether if it's at the movie theater, at home, however you can, you know what I'm saying? But definitely watch this film, and if you have, let me know what you think about this movie, what you thought about this film after watching it, what you think they could have done better. Because personally, one thing I think they could have done better was obviously add more fighting scenes, and also the actual uniform, like their costume. I wasn't really digging. Like, I wasn't digging it too much. I would have preferred better armor, better suited, lit looking armor. I wasn't a fan of their armor, but that's not something that takes away from the movie at all. But once again, it's your boy 3MG. Hopefully you enjoyed this movie. Hopefully hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I didn't spoil like anything for you guys, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below, especially if you watched it. I'm out. Peace.
Bands in my pocket, match the car color. Yeah, guess a nigga match that. I got the high score up in the gym, nigga match that. Everything I do inside me.